25 is calling. She's ready to move.
What a year. What a year for ErgShoot. Massive year. Good morning, everyone, or afternoon if you're from our way. Hope you're doing well. It is very miserable outside today, but I am very excited because we have got ErgShoot on the show. Coming in hot. Now, when he's ready, he's going to give me a big thumbs up and I'm going to add him to the stage. There we go. Here we go. Good morning, sir.
Morning, can you hear me?
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Oh, blimey, that's a massive head. Hang on.
Yeah, sorry. I do have you don't
Not yours, mine.
Cover up the receding areas.
I might need to turn your volume up a little, Matt, because can't hear you that well. Hang on.
I might need to get Simon to help me with that. Can you hear me at all?
Yeah, we can hear you. It's just it sounds like you're in the other side of the room, which you are. But that's fine. Not a problem. Not the end of the world. How are you? Thanks for joining me, Matt. How are you? Oh, hello. You've gone completely now. Hang on. Where are you gone? Where's your volume? Auto. Oh, blimey. Volume's gone completely now. Please hold the line, viewers. We're just having a few technical difficulties at the moment. We're just sorting that out. Hello, Kenneth. How are you? Matt, I'm not sure if the... Hello, Flo. I can't hear you. Hopefully you can hear me. But it might be a case of jumping off and then coming back in, Matt. Not sure you can hear me.
No, I can. I can hear you.
Oh, there you go. There we go. You're back.
There we go. Thank you. Thank you.
That
was my glamorous.
There we go. Oh, Flo's on it. Flo's the technical genius, as we all know.
She is the technical genius.
Yeah.
You know, she did astrophysics at university. So you know, she
is mental.
It is mental. It is when I usually refer to Flo as the 1%. She's like the 1%
of the 1%.
She is the 1%. Yeah.
She's Men in Black's sort of status. She's the best of the best of the best. So.
Yeah, she's quite modest. She's quite modest and humble with her skills, but she's very good on. She's got a lot of technology behind it, and she has a lot to do with that. And I'm sure you remember when she works for PlayStation, has done for 25 years. She's produced lots of games, lots of shoot 'em up games, and that's how she also fell in love with this whole idea of ErgShoot. But she's just very good on all this technical stuff, like using AI, building like platforms online, all that kind of stuff. So we're very lucky to have her as our co-founder, but we do have between us some interesting skills. I sound like Liam Neeson from Taken,
Yeah.
we all have a particular set of skills, I will find you.
Yeah. Have you got smaller t-shirts since we met, or have you been working out? Because your arms look absolutely massive.
To be fair, I've been working out a fair bit. To be fair, Jake, you are a little bit of an inspiration for me, because I feel like we have similar backgrounds with our fitness, and you are pretty strong, aren't you? Your bench press and your deadlifting prowess. So the fact that you can pick up 200 kilos on any given Sunday,
day.
I've been doing a bit more upper body work of late, but I also do a lot of erging like you. Let's not even talk about your 2K ski erg time. I think that's something. Your site is sub 7 minutes on a 2K ski, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy, mate.
Yeah, but that's all I do. Like, I literally bench and ski. That's it. So, like, I should be fairly good at them. Everything else, I'm atrocious. Like the Open. Well, I'll come on to the Open in a minute. But like, when that comes around, I know that I'll be fine week 1. Week 2, they'll introduce like a skill piece, and I'll be like, meh. Week 3, it'll be muscle ups, and I'll be like, all right, well, 50th
well, to be fair, mate, you're pretty well connected. So, you know, if you speak to the right people and just ask for bench press and ski erg, mate, you'll be top dog.
Do you know, every year I sign up for the Open, I'm like, Castro's going to put bench in this year. It's going to happen. And this is year 14 for me. And I'm still hoping. But I see, I've got a bugbear where people hide behind complexity. So people get too caught up and they hide their shit basic fitness behind high skill. So the people, but you should be able to do it all, to be fair. But I'm too fat and old to give a shit about muscle ups anymore. Like, I just like putting my body weight behind stuff and eating mince pies. So that's for me.
I feel you.
You look a lot leaner than I do, though, Matt. We had ErgShoot last year's Wodify comp. Everyone loved it. And do you know what, Nigel? Big Nige from Wodify.
Hey, Nige, good to see you, mate. Well, good to hear from you. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm very, very fortunate that I'm going to go to Wodify in February on Valentine's Day. I haven't told my wife it's Valentine's Day yet, but she won't care. We've had 3 kids now. It's like we don't need that anymore.
You've done your job.
Yeah. So yeah, I can't wait for that. But hang on before I'm going to pull up this post, right? And I played it as an intro video, but I want to pull it up because hold the phone. I want to just read out the list, right, of your year 2025, right? For anyone that doesn't know, Matt, give it right. I'll pull this back. Hang on, stop sharing. For anyone that doesn't know, which everyone should do by now, Tell me about ErgShoot, just like the elevator pitch or lift pitch of ErgShoot. I know everyone should do by now.
Yeah, so ErgShoot is where cardio meets precision. It's a new sport, but it lends itself very well to be integrated into functional fitness events. So it's a challenge as an event, but we see it as a recognized sport where the audience is quite vast. So it's quite niche within CrossFit, but our customer personas are broad, any performance athletes, I would say. So we basically have kept things pretty simple. Simple's good. Bringing 2 skills together, 2 of the physical skills of the CrossFit fitness 10 components. And yeah, you know, we basically want to test athletes in a very novel way, a way in which they have been tested in 2025. A lot of people were tested, and bringing in a bit of composure into fitness. I think, you know, we focus on high output, high intensity, high heart rate, but we don't really ever talk about composure within a fitness event ever so much. Obviously, precision shooting is precise. It requires some skill attainment, but as opposed to a double under, teaching somebody how to use the iron sight of a pistol, I can teach someone how to shoot within a few minutes, if that. We've done a lot of standalone events, a lot of activations, a lot of vendor booths, 2025, and you know, from our experience, we get it often. Oh, I'm not going to be good at this. You know, that whole classic. You know, it's a new skill. I don't want. And is that need to avoid failure, isn't it? I remember when I did sports science, by the way, this need to achieve persona and this need to avoid failure persona. I think in sports science they call it natch and naff. I remember seeing things like that. And then basically there's a lot of people that want to avoid failing at things, so they would usually sort of you know, move away from it. But we've actually found a lot of people are like that. Give them a bit of persuasion, and yeah, it went down really well 2025. So yeah, sorry, that's a bit of a extended elevator pitch, but essentially in a nutshell, cardio meeting precision.
Yeah, 100%. And reason I wanted to, because I don't know if the video does this justice in terms of what your offering is, but it does, because it highlights the whole year that you've had. But I was looking at this post earlier in prep, and I was going through this list of events that you've been at in 2025. It's not too bad. You haven't had a bad year, have you, really?
Yeah, do you know what? We it's very reflective time, isn't it? Sort of December into January, start of a new year. I think sometimes it's very hard to sometimes just sit back and take heed and reflect on how busy you've been. It's been quite strange for us to actually be home and not be traveling much at all. But the speed at which we've grown, it's very hard for us to reflect on what we've done. And sometimes when we started this whole project, so I think it was one of the first times I met you, actually might have been the first time, was at the French Throwdown.
Yep.
Last year. And when we were talking about the French Throwdown in December, we had a little internal group meeting and a sort of bit of a post-mortem of the year. It felt like it was over a year ago that the French Throwdown was, but it was in 2025. And yeah, it's been quite remarkable, really, where we've been and what we've done. I think the French Throwdown was a great opportunity for us. We were only there, for a spectator activation, but we were able to connect some rowers up and use ErgRace and try and present what we're trying to achieve currently, which is heightening the level of technology used within events. So that started it all. And then it was just a bit of a domino effect, really. It was just one thing led to another, which led to another, which led to another. And then, I've been in the fitness industry for quite a while. And even though I operate a very sort of lonely suburban CrossFit facility, over the years I've been involved in CrossFit, I've just managed to meet some people that are doing some amazing things. So we seem to be in similar ecosystems with people that are currently doing some amazing things as we speak. And then also meeting people in the US, like bringing Carl Rolfe into the business as a director, excuse me, who is Emily Rolfe's coach and husband, which has been very, very helpful for us. We were introduced to Kyle through Concept 2, who we don't have an official partnership with, just to sort of make everyone aware. We work with all equipment providers of cardio kit. But yeah, we had a chat with Kyle through a guy called Greg Hammond, who's the chief marketing officer of Concept 2. And that's how it all started, really. It was pretty much, when are you coming over to the US? Have a chat with Kyle. He's into all of this kind of stuff as well, and hit it off really well. We shared similar interests in movies and also just the idea of gamifying fitness. I think where we are right now, very interesting time as a company, because we are behind the scenes, and that's what happens in the downtime when events aren't happening. You're doing all the work behind the scenes to we want to keep improving. We want to keep developing. And we have this dream, which we started at the conception of this whole thing, where, we want to automate events. What does automate events mean? Well, being able to, on a big screen at a big event, have your erg metrics, but also your target metrics on the screen, even have heart rate of athletes on the screen, so really develop things and improve the spectator experience of watching fitness. I think a lot of event organizers now are really sort of, focusing on not just the athlete experience, but also the experience of the spectators that come to these big events. And, how can we create an amazing vendor village? Can we put on some amazing spectator events? Can we get the guys to do the thing that the top athletes are doing? And I think the really cool thing with what we do is that because we use pretty much computers, we can link things up, and we can develop software. For instance, with event automation, when we did SID, so we did strength in depth last year. It was a really cool event. I programmed it with Gavin, and it was a very controlled workout, right? So you controlled the work, and you controlled the transition time, and you controlled the shoot. So the whole thing was controlled, and it was organized, and it was also programmed in such a manner where the shooting didn't detract fully from the workout, meaning if someone wasn't very good at the shooting, they still had a chance to still be there or thereabouts. But we basically awarded a green light. So if you hit the bullseye, a green light was 20-meter bonus. Workout worked very well, but at the end of the workout, it was a bit of an anticlimax because people didn't know where they came, because you had your ski erg meters for the 4 minutes of work, 3 minutes of work, 2 minutes of work, 1 minute of work. It was a good workout. You should give it a go. I'll send you a gun and target. And
thanks. Yeah,
but at the end, you killed that one, mate, with the ski erg. But maybe not necessarily on the shooting, perhaps. I don't know. So
yeah, maybe.
But the 20-meter bonus, we had to manually add or manually input. So there was a little bit of delay on celebrating, right? With our automation, which we're developing as we speak, a green light can be 20-meter bonus, but we can actually add it in real time. So then it's all sort of real time. It's all automatic. You can see the meters top up straight away. It's little things like that. So event automation is really, really important thing for us. And we are reviewing, repeating ourselves on events that we were at last year. But like anything, it's, well, how can you do this better? Well, what's next? What's next? What's next? How can this be better, right? So software development's massive. And then we want to create our community. So we are also developing our affiliate hub, which is also something which is in progress. Hopefully we'll get that finished within Q1 of this year. I sound like, don't I? I sound like I know what I'm talking about. Q1, right? The first quarter of the year. I know, we're a startup, right? So
by April.
But basically, we're building that. So we are by default, like we have a global reach. So we sell kit in Canada. I just sold some kit in Guadalupe in the Caribbean. We literally have this big expanse. South Africa. We've actually got an ErgShoot. We've got ErgShoot agents. It sounds like Men in Black stuff, doesn't it? But basically,
arms dealers.
No, it's not arms dealers. No, we're not doing that. But essentially, we have people that are so kind of, oh my god, this product's amazing. I want to bring it into this country. And as I said, because people wouldn't know this, but ErgShoot is myself, is Flo, who was just fixing the volume on here, and then Kyle. It's just us at the moment. But this thing is like doing this. And then we're just trying to sort of like, we end up being quite reactive. It's like we're not actually advertising for ErgShoot agents, right? So but it's great because it means that we're kind of really sort of capturing people's attention. And it's like, and there are certain parts of the world that obviously might sort of engage with this more than others, right? So as people would probably rightly predict, the US are being very interested in the product. South Africa are quite interested in the product. Germany are very interested in the product with their biathlon interests. And I have discussions with people in Germany as we speak. And the Nordics, Scandinavia, we've sold some products in Australia. And then we're having chats with people on hunting. And in terms of training for being a better hunter, the types of activities that will make you a better hunter. So that would be probably more like grunt work style training.
Yeah,
you know, like putting like
that's cool.
like putting weighted bags on you. You know, picking things up, you know, negotiating obstacles, whatnot. So we've actually had some interesting conversations with people in the US. And then I think there's certain sort of states like Utah, Wyoming, sort of down towards Rich Froning's gym in Cookville. There's a lot of people that are into all of this.
Yeah.
So then we're kind of going, well, yes, we are ErgShoot, but yes, we can clearly see that there is a carryover into this world. And then again, we kind of like right now we're having those discussions. Have you had the conversation with Castro? Yeah, no, Dave is aware of us. To be fair, a lot of people have seen us and are aware of us. So we're actually also creating some attachments for the pistols to create a rifle.
Oh man, that'd be cool. Yeah. How far? Yeah. Sean did ask a minute ago. What's the furthest you can actually shoot, like with the erg gun with the?
So the laser pistol. So you can actually shoot from quite a far distance. You know, we probably push it out to say 40, 50 meters. But the thing is, with a pistol, it becomes a little bit of guesswork in terms of like, you know, if you hold a pistol with one hand, even with two from 40, 50 meters, you can kind of line the iron sight up. And you can kind of like predict with a high level of certainty you're kind of there or thereabouts. But obviously, you know, you would need to have more of a rifle, more of a sort of steady hand, like, you know, rest it on a like a trestle table or a soft box, even attach a scope to it. There's so many iterations to all of this. So quite a far way away. We've actually, to be fair, like when we were at WFP in Copenhagen at Christmas, which was a great experience as well. But when people come to the vendor, the booth offering, you usually get people like we get people shooting for 5 meters, which is your CrossFit functional fitness distance. Which, you know, some people say 5 meters is nothing at all, but for some people that are good at shooting, it's nothing at all. But as soon as you start chucking in some cardiovascular work and your heart rate starts, you know, going north, and your respiratory rate starts going north, 5 meters, you will miss a couple. You know, you're not going to be 100% perfect. But then people push back to 10 meters, which is your laser run from the modern pentathlon. That's your 10 meters is the Olympic level. But then obviously human curiosity is, I'm pretty good at 10, 15, 20. So we've had people go back quite a far way in the villages that we've been at. That's your boy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
that was good, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Rogue. That was, and we had the strong man just to the left of there, but as my daughter, but he absolutely loved that. He keeps asking about it. He keeps saying to me like, oh, when are those guns coming back? I was like, well, I haven't got one.
My kids love it. It's an interesting thing, you know, what we're doing, because at the end of the day, we just want people to have fun doing fitness, right? We want people to be fit. Fundamentally, you know, it's another way to keep fit and do something which is super fun. So to that extent, children that maybe don't really engage with mainstream sports. One of my kids isn't so enthused about that, let's say. You know, I say, well, you know, why don't you do a bit of laser pistol shooting? But that's really fun, Dad. And then it's like, well, you know, why don't you try this workout out and maybe just do a few burpees or just do a few air squats, you know? And there's something really trivial, nothing too forced. You know, I'm not making him go on a like 800-meter run. Yeah, because some kids are like that, you know. So that's punishment. But you know, it's like it hits a lot of different age groups. And I think with the technology that we're developing, and we've got some really cool announcements coming up. Cool. We've got so much cool stuff coming out, and I have to be. I said to Flo before we came on this call, I said, "What can I say? What can't I say?" But essentially, like, we're going to be working with an app that's already existing, that's used by people globally around the world, where you can connect things up. So already you can connect up an erg, and it's used. I won't say people pretty assume. I guess who it is, but essentially it's used for online qualifiers. But essentially, what we can do, we can really nail the single player mode. So if you wanted to do an ErgShoot workout, you could connect up your erg, you could connect up your target, you could connect up your heart rate monitor, because everyone loves to know what's going on with their heart rate.
Oh, that is so cool.
Literally go on the app, pick the workout, and what I've done, when we started ErgShoot, I created a standardized list of ErgShoot workouts, which are pure ErgShoot, right? If you love erging, you would love this, right? So they're literally sprint workouts, which maybe have a time cap of say 6 minutes max. But if you're an elite athlete like yourself, Jake, you probably get it done in say 3. Middle distance events, which maybe have a time cap of say 20 minutes. And then your endurance workouts, which you would 100% do as a lone wolf, because it would be very hard to do this as a class at a gym, which are 60 to 90 minutes in length, which kind of pay homage also to biathlon, you know, those kind of like crazy distances. Like I created one workout where you start the workout, 3, 2, 1, go, shoot your 5 green lights within 50 seconds. Then you jump onto the ski, do 5K on the ski. That's the start of it, right? After your 5K, you jump off, 5 green lights. This is endurance, right? Then 10K on a bike erg.
Right.
Jump off, shoot your 5 green lights, 50 seconds, 5K row. Then, so that's your first round or your first vertical. Then on your second vertical, you shoot 5 green lights. Then you do a 2K ski. 5 green lights again, shoot, 4K bike, and then shoot, and you finish the workout on a 2K row. And you know what? It's one of those workouts, like if you love fitness and you love a challenge, because let's be honest, we've all done a 5K something, right? And we've all done a 2K something. And then the way I am, I'm a bit funny in the head when it comes to like working out and putting myself firmly in the bin.
Yes.
I like to do that to myself because it makes me feel somewhat alive.
Yeah.
Finishing a workout on a 2K row after doing all of this, and then understanding what can I actually hit for a 2K row when I've done all of that. So there's like hidden performance goals in a long workout.
Yeah.
You know? But that's just an example of it. So anyway, you go onto the app, you click the workout, connect everything up, 3, 2, 1, go, do it. Yeah, you're done on your workout, and you press tick, and then it basically uploads onto our global leaderboards. So then what we start to create is this kind of global engagement into the sport where you get all these people all around the world. And then the guy that owns this app, I said to him, how can you stop people cheating? So when it comes to where you stand, where you shoot, and where your target is, because, you know, I said, and you know, we live in the world now of AI, right? So he's kind of like, well, is there a way in which you can measure this? And he says, yes, we can measure this. So we're hopefully creating something which you can't, which there aren't any loopholes. You can't cheat because you have to have everything in shot of your phone.
Yeah,
that'll be really cool.
That will be. That's nice. I like that. I like the whole. One thing I've always liked about the online qualifiers is that I know people find it annoying, but the whole setting up, it adds drama and it adds something special to it. Like when there's online qualifiers and it's just like, as much as I love Rainhill, the thing of like, just pop your scores in, like it doesn't really inspire me to do them. Whereas if I'm doing online qualifiers, it really does that. And I guess I wouldn't want a video like an hour and a half workout. But that, I know what you mean by those longer pieces. Like I tap out. I did a 10K ski about 4 months ago, and that's as long as I'll go. I'm not going any longer than that. Although I did a high rocks in whenever, but that was different. That's easy.
I'm one of these guys, right? If I get given the task or like, this is your workout, okay, you know, if I start something, I'll always finish it. And this is my weird mentality, right? When I was about, I was about 13 or 14, give or take. And I was actually good track athlete. But, you know, this is mid-90s. And my mum would usually say, look, off you go. You know, get out the house, go and run. You know, I was one of those kids as well. And I never had a coach. I would just, okay, mum, I'll go and do some running, right? So, and then I had this like weird moment one time, and I did a couple of laps where my house was. It must have been, I don't know, a couple of miles at most, whatever, right? And I got to this kind of corner on the. I remember the name of the road. It's called Meadow Drive. It sounds like a nice place. Meadow Drive. I was on the corner, yeah. And then you know when you're doing exercise, and there's always that inner voice that's saying, "Why are you doing this? This hurts. Just stop. Yep. Why don't you just stop? You know, just have a walk."
Yeah.
And I was going, no, I'm not going to stop, because if I stop, I feel like I failed. I'm going to keep moving. I'm going to keep jogging. I'm jogging quite slowly, but I'm not going to walk, because if I walk, I feel like I failed. And that was me and, you know, my rules. Everyone's got different rules, right? And I've always been that way. And it's never, you know, maybe after having quite a few surgeries to my body, and maybe I've learned the hard way, but you know, I've always just kind of had that mentality, you know, of, you know, I can't stop, because I feel like I've let myself down. So on these really long endurance pieces, you do have to be of a certain mindset, I would say. Like the fact you put yourself in the hole in a 10K, and that was like your own choice, you know. You probably procrastinated before you started for about half an hour, but
I didn't warm up. I can't. I go once I've
warmed up.
I hate warming up for ergs. It's like that 5K I did last week on the ski erg. My first 1K was a warm up. Like, I can't warm up for erg stuff. I've been to rowing clubs. I know like good, decent Olympic standard rowers. I can't warm up. I just hate it. It just, because there's a number, I've got to zero it and start again. For me, that's like the end of the world. I can't do that. So I just have to warm up in the workout. But like, I know what you mean by that, because to this day, I have never, ever quit a CrossFit workout. Like, as in, if it's like for time, or if it's a 20-minute AMRAP, or if it's a qualifier or whatever, or if it's a lift, I've never walked out shy of finishing, as in the task. So if it's an AMRAP, I will keep going for 20 minutes. If it's 10 rounds for time, I don't care. I'll get it finished in, you know, as long as there's a time cap. If you know, I'll stop at the time cap. But I've never quit a workout going, this isn't working, or I'm not going to finish this, or I'm not going to get what I want. I just do it, because in me, that's what's the word? A non-negotiable. I cannot negotiate on that. Even if it's a shit time, a shit score, whatever it might be, I can't let myself quit. But the caveat to that is that I won't sign up for anything that I'm not willing to do that for. So I do miss out on workouts and events and stuff, because by not entering, because I know full well in my head, I will probably be at the point where I'll just want to walk out, and I don't want to get to that point. So I'll only do stuff that I'm willing to do properly.
Yeah, I think it's fair. But, you know, I think, look, it's your character, right? It's your character. It's how you're wired. You know, I am the way I am. You are the way you are. We're quite similar to that extent. And I think, but then I think it carries over into everyday life.
Yes.
You know, like if I reflect on ErgShoot and, you know, what the kind of approach and the mindset that I've had to have for that, it's been exciting and exhausting at the same time. And this is your inner drive. It's like, you know, you have this inner drive, right? And you're obviously passionate about fitness. You're passionate about your podcast. I'm passionate about ErgShoot. And then if you have the passion, you have the drive, and then it does help if you have that drive that allows you to kind of put yourself in the bin. But you can kind of suffer in there for a bit longer than other people, or you're willing to suffer.
How long have you had CrossFit? Yeah, well, yeah, 100%. How long have you had Isha for now? CrossFit Isha?
We 2013, so 13 years. It's 13 years affiliated this year, and I think our anniversary is in September.
Congratulations for that. Well done. So let's call it 12 and a half years. There's a certain, the first couple of years when you own an affiliate and when you're a PT and you're a trainer, you're all gung-ho, everyone's yay. I'll see through your issues. I'll work with you. Da, 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 da. And I think you get to a point where your threshold for your tolerance for bullshit kind of just goes because I think we have the answers to most problems and issues or experience ourselves that we just have a direct kind of like boom. And over time, what I've found, especially with people like yourself, people like Dan that I work with, you know, a lot of people that have been on the industry for 10 years plus in the CrossFit world, I think you just build up this resilience. And there's a reason for that, is because you have to deal with other people's resilience issues every day. So whenever you hear the voice that sounds like something that isn't resilience in your head, you know, no, stop. I don't want to hear that from you. Like when you tell people all fucking day, it's like telling your kids to pick up something they've dropped. You can't then be a hypocrite and then not pick up something you've dropped. You've got to just live that way. And I think being a CrossFit owner, affiliate owner, or a full-time coach, you just do naturally pick up this resilience to bullshit and hard work.
You do. I would agree. I also think you procrastinate less. I think I definitely have become someone who's less procrastinatory. That's the word of the day.
Great word.
Yeah, thanks, mate. I've got a few letters after my name. But yeah, less procrastinator is quite a mouthful as well. But I also like I think I triage things well. You know, in terms of, you know, I'm a physio by trade, right? So you know, I have to be quite good on being able to triage how significant something is, or how trivial something is. And sometimes something's quite trivial, but to somebody else it's quite significant. And I think you have to be able to, you know, identify those things quite quickly, and then obviously, you know, respond in kind. And I think that's, you know, it's been helpful for me to have had these skills growing up, you know, go through physiotherapy. There's lots of work on reflection, self-directed practice, and reflect on your practice. And that's the other thing I think I do an awful lot, and I'm a bit obsessive about it, and is reflecting on myself a lot, in terms of, you know, was that the right thing to do? Did I say the right thing? Did I act in the right way? And it's important as humans, you know, we do that a lot. As parents, we do that a lot, because you always want to behave in the right way for your children. You know, you can't behave, you know, in a bad way in front of your kids, because they'll pick it up and they'll feel like it's the normal thing to do. But yeah, I think I've become a lot more efficient getting older. My wife would say I also get a lot more forgetful, but I sometimes think my forgetfulness is because I have this kind of like triage system on what I feel is a significant, important, pertinent for me, and to push forwards with all my projects and everything like that. Not to disregard the small stuff, because the small stuff is important, but it's how you react to it. And like, do I have to react now, or can I just park it up and then react later on, like that day or the next day, right? But yeah, it's a very interesting sort of process, all of this.
I think you become calmer, in I am a calm person, not karma as in with a K. That as well.
Do you know what though? It's interesting, because I am not, by default and by DNA, I'm not a calm person. I am short fused, hot headed, was as a kid, but I've learned to be better. Not that I'm not going to say I have little blips here and there, but you have to learn to be better, and literally park it up to the far sort of recesses of your brain. And
so speaking of that, what's the biggest challenge you found in 2025? Like, what was your biggest challenge for you and ErgShoot?
So look, we have challenges. First challenge, I think, first and foremost, was obviously getting it to the forefront, climbing up the ladder and actually sort of getting the exposure that it required. That kind of dominoed, and that was actually fairly straightforward after a while. We are an interesting business. We're software, hardware, software development, and hardware. It all costs a lot of money, right? So, you know, we did a fundraise, friends and family, last year, raised enough capital to basically do what we did last year, which was basically build the brand, build the audience, market the crap out of it, And then our obstacles in front of us right now is basically connecting the community and getting the products into people's hands at an affordable price, I would say. So we have lots of things that we need to attend to as a business. But I would actually say that when we crack those two things, and we are going to crack those fairly swiftly, that it then just dominoes from there. We're quite an interesting business, meaning that we are B2B and B2C, meaning like we're business to business and business to consumer. But yeah, the obstacles that we have are they were identified very early on. So yeah, that's kind of like what we've been working on the last couple of months of last year, and currently this year.
And like personally, obviously you've got CrossFit Isha, you've got your family, which all this is for, and you've got your physio business.
Yeah.
How did you find juggling the travel and the time away from all of those other aspects of your life in 2025? Was that?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Did you foresee? Yeah.
Yeah, I think we always try and project that we're all okay inside, aren't we? We're all good, we're all fine. But yeah, very supportive family, wife. Lizzie runs the gym. Pretty much single-handedly. I would hate to admit, all the work behind the scenes. She works very, very hard whilst looking after our 4 kids. And she trains like 5 times a week. She's pretty jacked as well. So yeah, don't mess with my wife. So she's been very helpful and very supportive of ErgShoot, and she's supportive of it because she sees that it has an amazing potential, and also the fact that I do work all the hours that God gives, and I know that we all talk about sleep and recovery, all this kind of stuff, and I'm very much aware that I need to sleep more, but when I was younger, my mum's favorite saying to me was, "There's not enough hours in the day," and I used to listen to her, and I said, "What the hell are you talking about? Like, I'm at school, and it drags." And and it's kind of gone full circle now, because this kind of like my favorite saying. I'm literally running out of time. It's like I've got an egg timer every day, and so when I wake up and someone flips that egg timer over, so yes, in short, it's only been doable really because we've managed to kind of cover my shifts for coaching, and I've missed my family immensely, like being away. My 2 youngest, I've got 2 twin girls that are 3. They miss their dad. Obviously, I'm the good cop, by the way. And then my two boys. Oh yeah, someone's got to be the good cop, right? It irritates me immensely because like she does all the work, and then I seem to be the guy that's that can do no wrong. And then Jackson and Cooper, my 2 boys, who are a bit older, 9 and 7. So they're a little bit more. Well, I say that like Jackson, he's 9, but he acts like he's 19. To be fair, it's crazy. So that's how we manage, really, just supportive family.
Good. Good to hear. Yeah, I've just had our 3rd, and I can see how in a few years. Thank you. I might want to, focus on working a bit more.
Coaches
question then. Yeah. So, correct me if I'm wrong. You weren't at one last year, were you?
Sorry, say again.
You weren't at a coaches congress in 2025, were you?
We were. We were.
Which one?
You were busy emceeing, mate. So we were in the vendor village.
I'm trying to picture where you were.
We were right next to Mayhem.
Oh fuck yeah. I can see you now. Yeah, I'm doing a walkthrough in my head. Yeah, of course you were. Right, so that helps me. Right, so
how can you forget that we were there? Like we were the most important people there, right?
I know. I'm. Yeah, exactly. I'm just thinking in the layout in my head. I'm walking around it, and there's Facundo stood there winking at me on the right, and then you're there. So Coaches Congress Twickenham. Now, I could go on all day about Coaches Congress and the benefits we've got from doing it. First of all, off the back of Twickenham, do you feel like you've made a few more contacts from having been in Twickenham at Coaches Congress?
Oh yeah, we had some great networking. We made friends with the Mayhem crew. And I don't think I ever told you, but actually on the back of meeting them, they actually came to CrossFit Isha, and they actually did an ErgShoot workout.
I didn't know that. That is mad.
So
That's awesome.
I had lunch with Rich and the gang. Got on with Rory like a house on fire. And I said, look, what are you guys up to tomorrow? And we're flying back at X time. I said, why don't you come to my gym? I said, I'd love to get ErgShoot in front of you. Obviously, me being the business guy that I am, I'm thinking, well, it'd be great to maybe infiltrate Mayhem, and they've got Mayhem Hunt as well, that kind of stuff, right? So see if there's any carryover there at all. And there's some appetite there. We're currently in chats with Mayhem at the moment, which is good. But that's what I mean. Off the back of Coaches Congress, and then I think we're going to be. I forget which one. Are they at Stockholm or are they at Berlin?
So the Mayhem are in Stockholm. Yeah.
So anyway, it was good for us. And I saw my friend Nick Denby. He's doing some amazing things with GymSync at the moment as well. So yeah, very good. And then also all of the attendees had a chance to meet us and see us. Obviously, last year, 2025, we were at a lot of places. I think we probably peaked at Wodify, and a lot of people watched it on YouTube. And a lot of people just love trying it, right? They've seen like Tia and all the top athletes, having a blast, and mind the pun. And so it was good for us. The more people that ErgShoot meets, and the thing is, I think also for gyms, especially with the affiliate hub coming up, it's kind of like how can your gym make the most of having ErgShoot in it, in terms of retention of your members, bringing members in, all this kind of stuff. It's kind of like you need to be looking at this as a way to be a forward-thinking affiliate. Especially if you've got an audience that are CrossFit fans or just like general sort of fitness fans, and they see all of these top dogs doing this sport. It's a great thing to add on to your weekly program. For instance, excuse me, like at CrossFit Isha, we're a CrossFit facility. We're on CAP, which we love.
That's great to know.
And also, actually, it was good to see Dallin Pepper on doing a CAP workout the other day. It was great. It's CrossFit.
How refreshing was that to see? I haven't seen that since the days of Kalipa. It
was really good, and it was a lovely thing to see, actually. But CAP programming is great. It's really good. So we do CAP. We're a High Rocks affiliate. And we do ErgShoot on the weekends. It's like it's a add-on, and it's really popular. So it's something which we would be looking at other gyms to potentially do as a fun thing to do on a Saturday or Sunday. There'll be some gyms that might want to do it more in the week. But it's kind of like I think for us and for Coaches Congress, is kind of like, how do gyms get the most out of the people in the vendor village, right? What can those companies give to the affiliates, and how can they go away with it? How can they leverage it? How can they get their gym maybe making more money because they are part of it? That kind of thing.
Yes. Well, when and this was Henrik obviously asked me to do this, but when I opened at Twickenham, the one of the main things that he asked me to say was, go to each stall and vendor and ask how they can help you make more money as an affiliate and as a coach. We are business people at the end of the day. Like, people own affiliates and third parties and in our industry as a business. It's not a charity. And what Coaches Congress did so well, because obviously Twickenham was my first one, but there was absolutely zero selling going on. It was just discussion, and it was peer to peer. It was business to business. It was like, right, here's what I've got, here's what you've got. Let's see how we can work. There was no preaching, no sales, no ROI, no discussion on all that. It was purely, this is for your service as a service provider. This is how you can get better. And it was all about improvement, and it was all bloody so positive. And I was sold on day one, on the Friday evening when I got there. I was like, all right, these are the people that we need to be around and explore. And then over the weekend, the names and the people that were there, like, you just turn around, you're like, fuck me, like CrossFit Royalty just walked past, and then, oh Jesus, like the CEO just walked past, and then bloody hell, the head of affiliates just walked past, and then it's like, bloody hell, everyone is here, and there's a reason for that.
It doesn't need to be forced.
No, not at all.
I think also, like, I think everyone wants everyone to succeed, though. I'm onboarding a couple of coaches at CrossFit Issue at the moment to cover some of my hours, funny enough, and you know, one of them gets quite nervous, and I said, just remember, I said, no one wants you to fail. I said, like, you know, everyone wants you to do well, and everyone wants you to succeed. You know, so you know, so don't be so nervous. And what I mean by that is, like, with what we're talking about is, you know, everyone wants everyone to win, right? You know, no one wants anyone to not do well. We can all do well, and you know, everyone needs to work hard still to get there. You know, I'm a CrossFit owner, right? So I know what it's like. I know we've had some tough times, you know, and we've had some great times, and we're having some better times now. But it's because we are willing to grow and adapt. I think one of the problems is, for a lot of CrossFit facilities, sometimes that there's no willingness to grow and adapt. You know, do we do high rocks? Do we not do high rocks? I don't really like high rocks. I'm not going to do high rocks. I don't like it. But just because you don't like it doesn't mean it's not the right decision to make, you know. And you have to be quite calculated with how you go about it. Was it a good thing for us? Yeah, it was. Do I personally like the high rocks? I think it's okay. I just think it's a long CrossFit workout, like a long benchmark workout, right? So, but people love it.
It would be like a pub landlord only selling what they like to drink.
100%.
You might get all right. You might be all right. You might be fine. However, if just because you don't like Jägermeister, why don't you stock it just for the people that do want to have it? Because, and it doesn't have to you don't have to have Jägermeister posters everywhere. You don't have to have those little yellow and pink and green stars with handwriting on it behind the till saying $2.99 or whatever it is. Like, you don't have to go full send on it, but as an offering, it would be silly not to do it. Like, and these are the conversations that I loved hearing at Coaches Congress, because I heard a few people, you know, talking to really experienced CrossFit affiliate owners, like hearing Fronin talking about it was cool. Like, and then Annie talking about the value of CrossFit, you know, and even though she just sold her affiliate, her kids go to the, you know, her kids are going to go to CrossFit affiliates because they believe in it so much. And it's okay to adapt. And as we go now, I bit off topic here, but I follow this guy called Hugh, right, on Instagram, and he's a financial analyst in London, and he does these videos where he just talks down the camera and he does these 1-minute breakdowns of these, like, goings on in the financial industry about business takeovers and private equity, and like he gives these examples. And there was one about Costa Coffee about a week ago that he gave, and as he's talking about it, you could replace the word Costa Coffee with CrossFit affiliates, and it is like mind-blowingly appropriate. And they're talking about the state of the industry and, you know, being licensees and using the Costa name. It's just really interesting hearing different people. I've actually messaged him and asked him if he could have a look at the current CrossFit situation and see if he can talk about that, because Daniel Chaffee said a little while ago that, like, when we were at Rogue, he was giving that discussion, and he had this really good way of looking at it. He said, CrossFit over the last couple of years has gone through a real stress test as a business, as a proposition, and we've survived the stress test. The methodology and the actual offering of CrossFit has survived the stress test. All the other methodologies that have come out, they're cool. They've grown the industry, but we've survived. Now it's up to us as business owners and as operators and service providers to develop it and progress from where we're at now, having gone through that stress test. Like, how well are you going to adapt and come out of the other side? Yeah. And it's businesses like yours with ErgShoot that are going to have a different offering that we haven't had before, that is incremental to the gyms. It's truly universal, because anyone can hold a gun. You know, not everyone, but most people, unless you're an adaptive athlete with no hands, you're going to be able to hold a pistol. You know, so it does add a truly universal and global offering to gyms. And at places like Coaches Congress, you don't have to sell. You just have to talk and explain and show the value.
Exactly. You know, we don't go there to sell. We go there just to talk and just to tell people, you know, how fun it is, and, you know, how accessible it is, and the benefits it could bring to your affiliate. And also just, you can get super fit doing it, and it makes cardio fun. You know, we hear that a lot anecdotally.
That Cam Haynes has got involved with, like, he's obviously been a massive proponent of fitness and strength and conditioning work for hunting, like in the hunting world, for a long time now. And he's obviously best buddies with Rogan, Fronin's buddies with Cam Haynes. So it's funny when you said about like that market for hunting, that's a real like eye opener for me. I'm like, oh yeah, there's a massive bloody market.
Interestingly, so when did this conversation start? So it actually probably started after Coaches Congress, when I had them at the gym, and then in Aberdeen we met the owner of a company called PB Fit, who's I think they sponsor. They are the protein bar of CrossFit. Actually, I think they sponsor CrossFit. PB Fit, really interesting chap, a guy called Stephen. Forget his surname. But he came up to us. He's a slightly older gentleman. I think he's in his 60s now, and he came up to us, at the booth, like a bit of a furrowed brow, a bit pensive looking, and he said, "What's all this about?" Like this, we're ErgShoot, and gave him gave him the pitch, gave him the spiel. He goes, "Oh, this is really good." Because he lives in Utah, and he goes, "Oh, they do this event in Utah, and they use bow and arrows. They turn up on the weekend, and over the course of the weekend, there are about 7,000 to 8,000 people turn up. Because obviously in America, things are bigger, right? Bigger, just larger scale.
Yeah.
And they do this trail. So this is your start, and then this is your finish, and the event's, I don't know, an hour or so, or even longer than that. And he goes, what you're doing would be pretty good for a trail event, and also, lasers, safe, you don't have to worry about getting, impaled by an arrow or shot by a bullet. And then obviously, there's this conversation about, developing a rifle, all this kind of stuff, and anything's possible. But we've had some interesting conversations with people within those worlds, and it's not just the US on hunting; it's also like the Nordics. There's been a lot of interest there, but the hunting fraternity around the world is massive, and we're not advocating killing animals and blah blah blah. But it's the training, training for going on the pursuit.
Yes,
that's the interesting thing. And then actually, when it comes to events, it makes me start thinking about, well, actually, you could just do like one event which lasts for an hour or two. You have a start, you have a finish, and that's the event. And then what you could do, instead of using arrows, you could have a rifle, laser rifle. You could have targets along the way, and then certain tasks to accomplish in terms of exercises or whatever movements that you would design.
Yeah,
and that would be a different way to do it. You can take it outside of the gym if weather prevailing and all that kind of jazz. So there's loads of things that we could do with this. I think the hunting side of things is a big thing, which you could easily create a hunting style workout in a gym with a rifle, and you could call it like a hunting style.
Could you attach one of the targets to someone's back? And
you could, yeah. So there's many targets you can buy.
Just run. I'll give you 10 seconds.
Run. You've got 10 seconds to run. You could, but also like you could buy little laser targets like circles,
right?
And you could have like a deer cutout.
Yeah,
like head and whatever, and put it to the end of the garden or what have you. There's loads of things you could do,
Yeah.
It's not at the forefront of our current
no. Yeah.
But it's conversations that we've had and are having,
Yeah. And like you said earlier, the good thing is about this technology is that you know what you've got, and the possibilities just haven't been explored yet. There's a lot to be done, but you've got to do it properly. You've got to roll it out properly. You've got to exposure at events. You've got to showcase what it can do now. You've got to get it in the hands of people. You've got to get as many affiliates as you can just to show people what it's about and what they can offer. Go to places like Coaches Congress, be exposed in front of coaches and affiliate owners, show them and demonstrate in a controlled environment. This is what you can have at your gym. Here's an array of workouts. Here's a platform that you can have it linked up to do at your gym. Here's why it's an accuracy test. Here's why it's a test of patience and endurance. We can't just bury ourselves on workouts every day and expect to get fitter up here. Part of what we do as functional fitness is we need to be able to be logical and think and be able to act upon the environment, not just bury ourselves in a workout. Like halfway through Fran, you're not thinking about like Sudoku puzzles. You're thinking, I've got to hang on for dear life here. So introducing the idea of having to steady, keep your heart, how well can you focus and concentrate whilst fatigued, under fatigue, and how well can you operate like that? That is what this can offer. It's an extended version of what we do. It's on top of what we do. It's a refinement. It's the next level. It's the next step of what we do. Yes, you can bloody bury yourself and you can do a 6.5 minute 2K row, but how about straight after you've got to do this accuracy test? Like a wall ball is an accuracy test.
But it's quite a gross accuracy.
Yes.
So meaning it's just like, it's quite a not very technical, complex accuracy test. So this is accuracy at the extreme. But yeah, and it has come up before though, right? So, 2019 Rogue Invitational and then 2022 French Throwdown, right? So has appeared. And I think perhaps in those moments, they probably didn't feel like they had something. We feel like we have something. We feel like we have something that has longevity. Is something within the CrossFit world, but it's also a massive thing outside of the CrossFit world. And it has many avenues it can go down. The audience is vast. The age range is vast. So it's an exciting position that we're in. And you'll be excited, but this month we are announcing some ErgShoot ambassadors. And I'm I'm very excited because these guys are iconic, and you'll be very impressed when we announce. And it's very exciting for us because it's just going to be a great opportunity for ErgShoot to get some really big voices behind it. To give you a couple of clues, some ErgShoot icons that are from the past that are still active within the fitness world, and some current ones that are at the top of their game. So we're very excited.
Amazing. I look forward to that.
We're very excited.
Awesome, mate. So overall 2025 went fucking immaculately to plan. There's a couple of things that have come off the back of it that you see as potential development areas that you're tackling and you're handling. You got in front of hundreds of thousands of people this year. Your exposure has been incredible at these events, in person and online, and on YouTube at events. You've bagged yourself some ambassadors that really feel heavily involved, and you're going to announce that this month. 2026, have you solidified your calendar yet for events for the remainder of the year, or is that an ongoing thing?
We have secured some that are forecasted. Few in the US, which we still need to solidify. Current conversations. We have a few in the UK, which are easy for us because they're domestic. So yeah, the calendar is not fully confirmed. We have some potentially massive events which we're currently having conversations with. So can't sort of say anything just yet, but everyone's getting back to work right now. So by the end of January, our calendar will be up. And also just to add, we are going through a second round of fundraising. So if anyone was interested in being part of ErgShoot and actually being part of the fabric and investing into it, then please reach out. We are also something called SEIS Assured, which is a seed enterprise investment scheme, which is a government-backed scheme. So if you were to invest into an exciting project like ErgShoot, you actually get some tax savings, up to 50% tax savings back. So it's also another thing that would be helpful for an investor. Not only are you investing into a really exciting project and you'll get your ROI, you also won't have to pay HMRC the tax that it's probably hunting you down for as well.
Good, I like that pun. I like that play. Well, Matt, thank you so much for coming on. And I know it hasn't been a year yet, but we spoke in April last year, so 9 months later, and your trajectory has just gone boom. And any business owner, but anyone in our industry knows how damn well how hard you have to work to even get to these events, let alone off the back of them get so much success and praise from the industry. So you should all, like you, Flo, and Carl, should be all massively kind of proud of the work that you've done so far. Roll on 2026. I'm looking forward to seeing you at a couple of these events. I'm sure
we'll be seeing each other a lot, I think, this year. But I'd just like to say thanks for having us on your podcast, and also your support. You've been a big advocate of ours from the get-go. So people like you having you be behind us is amazing. So I would say thank you to you for that as well.
Oh, pleasure. Cool, Matt. Thanks so much. Guys, thanks for joining me in the chat. I'm back on Thursday on my own, so I will speak to you then. But from everyone over here at this side of the pond, farewell and have a great day.
See you later, guys. Cheers. Thanks.